So we first start off with them in the firehouse. Annie looks like she's making something bomb. P.S. If you don't follow her on Instagram, you should look her up on Instagram because she's always posting something that she's cooking, and I'm feeling all of it. David gets on the phone because he says a couple days ago he got a text message from Chris that, you know, they were going to need to have a conversation. So it turns out that the firehouse is for sale and that Chris sold it. And he gets on the phone with David and tells David that he sold the firehouse and that he's going to have to move out on Tuesday. Turns out Tuesday is 3 days away. So that is stressful as F. Like, wow. Chris gives him some options though. He says, I do have a storage unit, I have a storage company. Chris has like money everywhere. He has a restaurant. He has that whole Thai experience in Thailand. He's got the storage facility that he owns. Like, it's crazy. The fire, like, he's just money in everywhere. I want to talk to Chris and talk about diversifying my portfolio. You know what I'm saying? When I get some money, because I don't got no money. He's like, you could work for me there or pay rent and just stay above. But either way, you could stay above. David's just like, okay. And he's like, it doesn't have a kitchen though. David's like, okay, well, okay. And Chris is like, but it's a place to live, you know? It's a roof over your head. He goes and talks to Annie about it and he tells her, I have bad news. I just spoke to Chris. We have to move out on Tuesday. And she's just like, why he not tell you? That's no option. Annie's had a lot of things go wrong. She's had not a good relationship with Ashley, David not being able to find a job. Then she's had to live in a firehouse, not a home. Then they don't have any money. She's homesick. David's not gonna be able to pay the dowry. David's not gonna be able to have kids. And now she has to move out of the firehouse in 3 days. At some point, David says, I haven't let you down yet. And she's like, really? Not even a little bit? No? They end up going to the storage facility and they go to the apartment, and apparently the windows don't open and the water heater is very small, so they don't really get lots of hot water. The windows don't open. Like, was that made up by TLC? That's crazy. It's literally like an office. It's an office space that can fit like 2 desks. They're walking around this apartment in complete silence. And the guy who's showing it to them is like, the bathroom has a lot of space in it. And this is the basic floor plan. And we have the kitchen over here. The kitchen looks like it's literally in a closet. It's got a decent sized fridge. And Annie walks in and she's like, they don't have the cooking place. I don't like American food. Like, I cannot cook in here. I can't live here. And he's like, honey, we have to. And she's like, no, I don't have to. Why is there a mini AM PM Pepsi fridge in the bathroom? And like, she's literally cussing up a storm in her confessionals. She's like, everything he say is lie. It's fucking lie. After the kid leaves, David looks at her and she's like, David's like, please. And she's like, no, you can stay here. I'm not. And David's like, that's not an option. And I'm just like, why? Why isn't it an option? She could stay with her friend, the friend with the 3 kids. Why can't, are you forbidding her from being able to go stay at someone else's house? And then she said, I should not come here. Basically like, I shouldn't have come here. I shouldn't have married you. And then he says, like, he's almost gonna start crying. This is a lot of stress on me. Why would you marry somebody 25 years old when you know that you don't have a pot to piss in? I guess it really doesn't matter her age. Why would you marry anybody when you know that you don't have a pot to piss in? And why would you bring them back to the US? Why didn't they just stay in Thailand? Was he excited that he was gonna bring back new wife, new life? Like, I don't understand. She's miserable. He wants her just like to ride it out with him. And she's just like, no, it's been nothing but catastrophe and drama since they got there. Okay. So the last couple that we are going to talk about, the couple that we are all here for today, Chantel and Pedro. Okay, so where we left off last week with Chantel and Pedro is that Chantel has gone back to her family to tell them how much Pedro and Nicole have been abusing her. How Pedro is not listening to her, choosing his sister over her. How when she left the house in the morning, as soon as she closed the door, she heard Nicole say, "Thank God!" and started clapping. And her family is just very upset and staunchly in her corner. So they decide to have a family meal, which makes the most sense, right? And they're putting out their family meal in this really small house or space, or what, did they rent this? Is this an Airbnb that they've rented to filming because they don't want the team to come to their house? Like, if this is anything real for them, I am gonna judge them for being so uppity. Anyway, so they're sitting at this small ass dinner table. and it's got all this food on it. I mean, and none of it is really made. All of it is like, I put this in the oven and warmed it up. And River is just like, ooh, mom, this looks good. And Winter's like, mom, it smells good. I really hope Nicole and Pedro enjoy it. It's literally store-bought appetizer cheese and crackers and like some meats. And then it's like store-bought canned baked beans put in some like rickety old foil pan. I mean, they did not even put the food in real dishes. So like, what? At least the chicken feet was served on a real plate. At least when they were gonna go to the abuela's house, you know, you saw it cooking in the cauldron in the middle of the yard. Like, what is this? They're serving on paper plates and plastic forks. Like, is nobody finna wash dishes afterwards? Everything is fake. I don't even feel like she actually seasoned and baked those chicken wings. I feel like she bought them store-bought from Costco, a big ass bag, put them in a foil thing and put them in the oven. Listen, for me, if you're gonna put on airs, you're going to have to back it up. You have to. Don't talk mess about other people and you're having a family dinner with your sister-in-law and you have paper plates and plastic spoons. Smells good, mom. Smells good, bush baked beans. Smells good, Costco platter. I don't have a problem with their family because, listen, live however you live, but when you are judging other people and others' family, your house better be tight. It doesn't matter that they're eating on plastic forks or paper plates. That's not my issue. My issue is that this family puts on airs and then has the audacity to not even have real dishes at dinner. Dinner that's being filmed. Dinner that's being filmed and they have a guest from out of the country with your wishbone salad dressing. Come on! If you're gonna play fancy, be fancy. River says in his confessional that he doesn't want Nicole and Pedro to come to dinner. He doesn't think it's gonna be a good idea because they clearly don't respect his sister. And so he's worried about how much respect they're gonna have at the dinner table. Out of his own mouth. So Thomas says that he feels a little disgruntled with Pedro's actions when his family comes around. I think Pedro might feel a little disgruntled as well when he's being told that his family is going to get investigated by his in-laws. So Karen just wants to get to the bottom of this. She wants to know what Nicole's motives are for my daughter in regards to taking advantage and using her daughter. So the doorbell rings and Nicole and Pedro walk in. Nicole goes and gives Chantel a kiss on the cheek and then walks forward. Karen is like, oh, Nicole, you look so pretty. Nicole looked like she got like 6-inch heels on. She's come to slay. You know what I'm saying? She got the pink lipstick. She's got on her white furry top and like a black skirt. Nicole understands that she's on television and she's making the most of it. So then Nicole comes over to Karen to like do the kissing or the hugging or something. And Karen's like, first step of being rude. So then she shakes Thomas's hand and then goes to sit down. Welcome to our home. Hola, Pedro. Pedro is really nervous and like stiff. He's like, every time he's around these people, they make him feel like something is wrong with him or they think bad about him. And so he's here to really prove to the family that he doesn't put his sister before his wife, that he loves Chantel. Nicole is sitting on one end, Chantel is sitting in the middle, and Pedro is sitting on the other side of Chantel. So Chantel is in the middle of the both of them. So Nicole basically is playing the fool and acting like the princess and saying like she doesn't want any problems with Chantel's family and that her and her mother feel like there's a lot of mistrust and they just want to alleviate that and not have any drama. And so she sits down at the table and she says, thank you so much for creating or preparing this amazing meal. You know, like just being very cordial and nice as you should be. As you should be when you go visit someone's house for the first time. I think Nicole is showing them how they should have been when they came to their apartment or when they came to the campo. But for whatever reason, Chantel's family just is insistent on being antagonistic and antagonistic around the dinner table. Karen says thank you very much and you know they're passing around food and plates and River's sitting up in the corner like fake ass bitches. You know what I'm saying? And I feel him, but like have some decorum. So in the beginning it's strained and it's cordial and then all of a sudden Karen can't handle it anymore and so she decides to ask Nicole what the relationship is like in the apartment. And Nicole says, it's fine. No, it's great. I'm having a good time. And Karen's like, well, that's not what I heard. And I'm just like, okay, Karen, why stir the pot? It's TV though. That's why. It's TV. Nicole's not gonna go into it, right? Because she's the aggressor and being a little bully. and a mean girl to Chantel. She's not gonna say, yeah, your daughter, I hate her. She's not gonna say that. She's gonna say everything is fine. So Winter and Karen decide that they're gonna attack. And they go in and they're just like, well, we heard that you're having problems in el apartamento and that, you know, things are not feliz. Nicole's like, everything is fine. And then Chantel finally gets a backbone and is like, no, you clapped when I left. Nicole's like, no, I didn't. And she's like, yes, you did. And she's like, no, I did not do that. You were misunderstanding what happened, or you misheard, but that did not happen. And then she goes, Junior, Pedro, did I do that? And Pedro's like, no, I didn't hear you do that. I don't know what's happening. But he's already frustrated because Chantel has told her parents that they had a fight. So Pedro's like, you already know your parents don't like me. You already know we have drama. And the first thing you do is add more fuel to the fire by telling them that you and my sister got into an argument over the sofa. Why? Why? He already has enough anxiety and now he has to come in with them already now gonna attack his sister. I think it's one thing when they attack him, but it's another thing when they attack his sister. And like, you guys don't get that? I mean, I get it. So they start to attack Nicole and tell her that she doesn't have to lie. And then Nicole's getting defensive and her voice gets higher. And then Chantel's voice gets higher too. And she's like, no está matiendo. You know, like it's just like a mean girl bullying Chantel and her mother and her sister coming in to rescue her. And then finally Pedro's so frustrated that he tells Chantel, let's switch seats. Like, come on, I'll switch seats with you, fine. Like, so that he can sit next to his sister because he feels like his sister's being attacked and he also doesn't want them to sit in case, like he just wants to sit next, whatever reason he wants them to switch seats. He wants to sit in the middle between his sister and Chantel. And Karen and Winter both step out of pocket and say, no, she's not moving anywhere. So then Pedro's responsibility is like, hey, no. And then Karen is like, who you pointing at? And then that's when the shit goes flying. If Pedro wanted to switch seats, it was no business of Karen or Winter to jump in and say something. And so Pedro then responded with, get out of my business. Hey, leave this situation alone. I wanted them to switch seats. And Winter and Karen are trying to like run this whole situation. So when he does that, and the mother says, and Karen says, who you pointing at? Thomas has got a chicken bone in his mouth because he ain't saying nothing, just trying to eat. And then River pops up and it's like, don't talk to my mom that way, shut up. And then Pedro's like, what you say? What you say? You know, that's what we've all seen, right? They pop up, and this is how I know this is not their house. Because for whatever reason, River goes and bangs the light fixture into Pedro. And that's what starts the fight. Now, you know, if that was his mama's light fixture, he wouldn't have hit that light fixture towards Pedro. They don't want the cameras in their house. And I wonder why. That's why they don't have any plates in that house. That's why the food is all store-bought and just put in the oven. Because that house is an Airbnb. And it's so small and stupid. Girl, I'm a detective. Okay, I am a detective. So then Pedro's like bossed up. He's ready to go. This is a fuse that has been lit and it just exploded. He goes over to get to River. River starts to like walk towards him, but Thomas makes a move and puts his hand in the way, and Winter moves out of the way. And then when she realizes that Pedro's about to mess her skinny brother up, she jumps into it and tries to grab Pedro. Nicole jumps in to try to stop her, and she's like, Junior! And then Chantel tries to get in somehow, but you know Chantel's not gonna mess up her face, and she's probably shocked and doesn't know what to do, and the medications aren't making her react the way she needs to react. And then Karen comes out of nowhere and jumps in when Nicole gets in. So now it's all these people trying to separate and fight at the same time, and Nicole gets in, and then Karen comes in and does something, girl, and River falls on both Nicole and Karen. And during the fall, Karen pulls out Nicole's weave, and then Thomas is like, what are we doing this for? What are we doing this for? It is pandemonium. One of the producer jumps in, low-key kind of cute. One of the producer jumps in trying to stop the fight. Everyone's fighting. Like Chantel's trying to get to Pedro and like get in front of him, stand in front of her brother, get in front of him, and like, babe, stop. And he's just going in. Nicole and Karen are on the floor. Nicole gets up. Karen is like wobbly. She don't know what's going on. She got the girl weaving her hair. Nicole and Pedro immediately leave. Before Pedro leaves, he kicks the table because he's pissed, son. He's pissed. And they leave, and Karen is like, oh, running behind them with the weave to give the weave back. And like Chantel is just like, oh, and like crumples. It's so hilarious. It's so hilarious. And just coming. I mean, what did anyone expect? What did anyone expect? This has been a long time coming. And then you hear a voiceover of Chantel saying that she doesn't know what kind of man she married. I'm like, bitch, a man. You married an actual man who's gonna stand up for himself and not let your family punk him. That's who you married, girl. So keep your mans. Okay? Some part during the confessionals, Chantel says that she thinks that her husband and her sister-in-law came there purposefully to start a fight with her brother or to start a fight with her family. And I'm just like, okay, that was said for the cameras because you know they didn't come over there to start no fight. So anyways, that is the end of this episode, you guys. It was great. I can't wait to hear what happens next week. Hopefully I do well enough and girl, they send me another link and then we can get these videos out early. All right, you guys, so in the comment section below, let me know what you thought of this episode. If you did watch my 90-day live, what did you think of me? Was I funny? I'm so nervous. Let's have a conversation in the kiki down in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye.